Part 2 of the Lemonbuster's inspection of a Volvo V70 XC, or XC70, whatever you want to call it. See here, we're going to continue with the roof. Got a little bit of some sap or something on here. It's going to come off. So I got some little chips and clear coat deformities here. The sunroof paint's in good shape for the most part. See here, it's got a ski rack fitted onto it. So you got our clear coat deformity there. Got a few dings here and there on the roof, probably from hail. So you have a clear coat deformity there as well. Ding right there as well. Probably the most noticeable one on the roof. Here's some scratches on the roof rack, typical for something at this age. Alright, let's go take a peek under the hood here. One thing I've noticed is that the hood springs are a little weak, and the hood does tend to want to like come down a little bit in the heavy one. See here, we got a pretty new battery in here, 600 cold cranking amps. See all the warnings and stuff are here as they should be in the map. The spark plug wire cover is in fact missing. There should be a two-piece cover, one that goes to here and then another one that goes to the rearward back. Those are both missing. This is a real common failure hose here. This goes to what they call the fire trap, which is the oil separator, basically, a crankcase ventilation, real high failure rate part. The rest of it resides under the intake manifold. It's kind of hard with the intake manifold on to actually get a shot of it. Real common failure on these Volvos, though. See here, the coolant's a little bit dirty, but it is in the operating range between the min and max marks. You can see here it had a timing belt done at 81,000. It's not real oily or anything like that in here. You see here, you see your belt's in pretty good shape. Your belt tensioner, all this stuff's kind of average. A lot of these hoses and whatnot, you know, it's hard to rate them as anything better than average because they're old and they should just basically be replaced due to age. So you can see here the steering rack, it's in nice shape. Got a newer arresting valve here for the secondary air system. High failure rate items too. When those go, they kill the air pumps in most cases. See here, we also have a new dipstick for the engine oil. Handle probably broke. See, the oil's in pretty decent shape. Got our power steering fluid here. See, it's in average shape. Got a little seepage from that return line from the power steering there. Kind of typical on a vehicle of this age. Got pictures of the air filter. It's in pretty good shape. Looks like we've had a replaced newer distributor cap here. At one point it has been tuned up along with the wires. Looks like a Bosch cap that's been put on there. See our brake fluid's in pretty decent shape, pretty clean for the most part. Kind of see the back of the firewall here and stuff. Tops your strut towers. These upper strut mounts on these Volvos are a real high failure rate item. Really tough to diagnose. But as you can see, these aren't bobbing around too much when I bounce on it. They'll definitely make a rattling noise when you're running and driving here. See here, your AC condenser is a little showing its signs of age, a little banged up. One thing I've noticed, the air conditioning is not functioning on this. It seems to be out of freon. It's not cycling on. Hard to say exactly where the leak is at this point. We need to put dye in the system, and you know, there's all sorts of different lines and whatnot that run throughout here. A lot of them are very tough to see because they're kind of buried. So definitely need to have that looked into. All right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and take a little peek underneath the car. We don't lift the car up during the video, so it's just too time consuming. But we can get a pretty good look of what's going on underneath here. See, it's kind of rusty underneath here on the mounts and cross member supports and whatnot. But overall, it's pretty dry. So that's a good sign. Not really leaking a whole lot of anything. You can see up there we have our evaporative canister here and stuff, and Everything's looking pretty good. Get a good look at our rack boots, CV axles, tie rod ends, stuff like that. Sway bar links and your strut and coil springs. Take a look here. You see we've got real good tread on these tires. See they're worn pretty evenly. About 30 seconds or so left on them, which is pretty close to new. You can see here the wheels in real nice shape. Brake rotor's got a little bit of rust and some grooving, probably from sitting more than anything. Go ahead and take a look here. You got good pad life left. I'd say there's probably about 75% left there. And you see once again, you see the tires just worn nice and evenly. Once you get another nice look at the CV boot there, our rack, tie rod ends and everything like that. I mean, once again, with all this suspension stuff, I mean, one good pothole shot right now could take all this stuff out because it's just all older stuff. You just don't know how long it's going to last when it's going to loosen up. It could be fine now and drive it once, and that's all it takes for it to loosen up, hitting a bump just right. See the exhaust here is got some rust on it, but overall seems to be pretty quiet and functional for the most part. You can see here we're going to take a peek at the rockers here. See the length of the car on the side. See, it's pretty clean underneath here for the most part. You get back here, you can see some of our rear arm bushings are a little dry rotted, and there's some rust going on here. Again, real typical stuff like this. You know, when it comes to brake hoses and bushings, all that stuff, it's the age items. They should just be replaced. You know, at your basically find a good Volvo mechanic and have him go over the car and see what he thinks needs to be replaced immediately due to age concerns. Because as it is an older car, you want it to be reliable. Okay, we got pretty good brake pad life here in the rear as well. Probably got about 80% or so left as well there too. See the tires are in good shape though. Go ahead and take a peek underneath the rear of the car here. Alright, you can see your CV boots. The arms and stuff like that are all pretty rusty. Your sway bar link's pretty rusty. Same with the differential. But this doesn't affect how this stuff works at this point in time. You know, at least on Volvos, I haven't run into too many broken sway bars. That's more of a General Motors kind of thing. See the control arms, everything there. It's all looking pretty good. Average shape for a vehicle of this age bracket. In here you can see this arm's pretty rusty underneath the plastic there. See your differential. The fuel filter there looks a little older. I recommend changing those every year. The #1 killer of a fuel pump. See your frame rails, you know, pretty good overall. Not real rusty underneath. Get you a shot here of the your drive shaft and your exhaust here for the all-wheel drive system. See once again this tire also about 30 seconds. These are very recent tires, it appears. See here this the right rear wheel's got some curb rashing on it. You know, it's gonna happen. We also got a scratch there. Rotors are, you know, pretty good shape overall. Trying to get a good shot here of the riggers. Actually, let's back it up a little bit here. Get a better shot there as well. You see, you got pretty good pad life left on it and stuff like that. Okay, you see here we got some rust going on, you know, on the underside components here. Bushings are, you know, starting to show their age a little bit. Rocker panels in good shape here overall. See the exhaust again there, a little bit rusty and whatnot. apologize for that. Car alarm keeps going off on this thing here. See your CV boots on this side and your rack. Tie rod. And you see there's definitely some rust going on the knuckle there, on the strut. Coil springs, sway bar links. You see it's pretty dry underneath there. It's your oil pan and whatnot. Go ahead and take a look at the tire here. The right front tire, you can see, is also in really good shape. Go ahead and look at the wheel here now. You can see we got a little bit of corrosion and some little bit of curb damage, but very minor. See here your rotor condition. Take a look at the brake pads there as well. It's got pretty good brake life on it. I mean, from a tires and brake standpoint, you're good to go for a while. See here again, front suspension components, TV axles. You can get a good look at the oil filter and oil pan. See, everything's real nice and dry for the most part underneath here. Washer bottle and all that. You can see at the fog lights. It's secure, but it's definitely pushed back a little bit. Oops. Alright, at this point we're going to wrap up part 2 of the Lemonbuster's inspection of a Volvo XC70.